Mercedes-Benz, a renowned luxury car brand valued at around $75 billion, boasts a rich history that often gets overshadowed by its current prestige. Despite being among the most sought-after and expensive cars today, the brand has humble origins, rooted in the determination of a struggling engineer. Let's delve into the captivating journey of Mercedes-Benz and its visionary founder, Carl Benz. Our story begins in the small German town of Mühlberg in November 1844, where Carl Benz entered the world. Raised in a low-class household after the untimely demise of his locomotive driver father when Carl was just 2, financial hardships marked his early life, despite facing poverty and the constant struggle for sustenance. Carl's mother, a resilient woman, ensured he received a good education. Carl's brilliance shone through during his school years, particularly in chemistry and mechanics. By the age of 15, inspired by his late father, he set his sights on a career in mechanical engineering. Carl successfully passed the entrance exam for the University of Karlsruhe, laying the foundation for his journey into the world of innovation. As we explore the fascinating tale of Mercedes-Benz, it's important to recognize that its success story took a remarkable turn during the late 19th century. From overcoming personal challenges, Carl transformed his small venture into the world's first and largest production car company. However, this tale of triumph is tinged with a darker chapter. In an unexpected twist, the company, at one point, found itself entangled in controversy for its involvement in supplying military vehicles to the Nazis during World War II, utilizing forced laborers. Join us as we uncover the incredible journey of Mercedes-Benz, from its modest beginnings to the complexities of its past, and the man who played a pivotal role in bringing automobiles to life. So sit back, relax, and let's unravel the intriguing narrative of Mercedes-Benz and Carl Benz. During his time at the University of Karlsruhe, Carl Benz encountered a teacher who would significantly shape his future, Ferdinand Rettenberger, also known as Rettenbacher. Renowned for transforming mechanical engineering from a workshop-based practice to a technical science in Germany, Rettenberger believed that steam engines, prevalent in railways and boats, were becoming outdated. Under Rettenberger's guidance, Benz's interest in horseless carriages blossomed. As an avid bicycle rider himself, Benz started experimenting with his bike, exploring ways to create a motorized vehicle. At this time, many inventors had attempted to build the first automobile, with some success in creating self-propelled vehicles. However, these early inventions were not entirely practical, often relying on steam engine technology. Benz, influenced by Professor Rettenbach, recognized the need for a revolutionary concept. Despite initial skepticism from others, he remained steadfast in his vision. Graduating from Karlsruhe at the age of 19, Benz spent the next 7 years working in various engineering and construction roles. Despite struggling to find his place in these jobs, he absorbed valuable knowledge that would later fuel his entrepreneurial spirit. In 1871, at the age of 27, Carl partnered with a skilled mechanic named August Ritter, marking the beginning of their joint venture. Together, they embarked on the journey of operating and refining their ideas, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become a groundbreaking chapter in automotive history. In tandem with his work at an iron foundry and mechanical workshop in Mannheim, Carl Benz tirelessly pursued his side project, the development of a motorized carriage. Recognizing the importance of a reliable partner to manage the business, Carl teamed up with a mechanic. However, this partnership turned out to be less than ideal. Local authorities impounded their tools, plunging the company into a challenging first year.
After being apprenticed to a local foundry, he eventually started up his own little engineering workshop in Mannheim. He didn't make a lot of money, but this was a time when the first internal combustion engines were running. Benz thought he would like to have a go at building some sort of machine with an engine to take the place of horses.
Enter Bertha Ringer, a woman of strong values whom Carl had met around the same time. Born into wealth, Bertha couldn't bear to see Carl's efforts hampered by an unreliable partner. Using her own dowry, she bought out the partner's entire share, placing her and Carl in full control of the business. Together, they navigated through the challenges, turning the company around in the next 10 years. During this period of resilience, Carl's true genius shone through. He made significant developments and breakthroughs in his side experiments, notably creating a gasoline two-stroke engine in 1879. Seeking additional revenue streams, he began patenting his inventions, including an engine speed regulation system, ignition via a battery system, spark plug, carburetor, clutch, gear shift, and a water radiator, while Carl inched closer to realizing his dream of a horseless carriage. These inventions also diversified the products the business could offer. Despite the persistent challenges, Carl's tenacity and innovation laid the foundation for future success. The business faced hurdles, but each setback became an opportunity for Carl to showcase his ingenuity and push the boundaries of automotive technology. As production costs escalated for Carl's venture, mounting pressure from banks compelled him to incorporate the business. This necessity led to collaboration with other investors, ultimately transforming the enterprise into a joint stock company in 1882. Unfortunately, this shift drastically reduced Carl's ownership to a mere 5% of the company shares, accompanied by a demotion from his influential position. To exacerbate matters, his input in designing new products was disregarded entirely. Frustrated and disheartened by this arrangement, Carl decided to part ways with the corporation the following year. The separation proved a tough blow, but rather than succumbing to disappointment, Carl's determination to succeed was reignited. His enduring passion for bicycles led him to Max Rose and Friedrich Wilhelm, proprietors of a bicycle repair shop in Mannheim. Together, they founded Benz & Chi, focusing on manufacturing industrial machines and stationary gas engines. In stark contrast to Carl's previous venture, this new endeavor flourished quickly, becoming profitable in a short span. With a staff of 25 people and a steady income, Carl redirected his primary focus towards his lifelong dream of building an automobile. Departing from conventional approaches, he integrated the gas engine into the carriage itself, drawing inspiration from bicycle technology. In 1885, Carl achieved a groundbreaking milestone with the creation of the Benz patent motor wagon. This innovative two-seater vehicle featured 3 wire wheels, forming a tricycle, and was powered by a gasoline 4-stroke motor. With a 1-cylinder engine producing 2/3 of a horsepower, it could reach speeds of around 7 miles per hour. Recognizing the revolutionary nature of his creation, Carl presented his motor wagon to the public in the summer of 1886 after thorough testing and refinement. However, the reception was mixed. While some praised this pioneering vehicle, skepticism lingered among many, with concerns about safety and reluctance to see it on main streets due to fears of potential explosions.
People were outraged at the time because even steam cars hadn't had a very good reaction at all with the public. Steam cars often used to literally explode. So when people were then developing petrol cars, the result was that people were very, very frightened and concerned.
Despite the challenges and skepticism, Carl Benz had laid the foundation for the future of automobiles, and the journey towards widespread acceptance had begun. Amidst widespread skepticism, and some even likening Carl Benz to the devil driving an infernal carriage, his business partners grew increasingly dissatisfied. Carl's unwavering obsession with the automobile took precedence, drawing him away from his conventional work. His partners failed to see the practicality of his invention, questioning its utility. Arguments arose, highlighting concerns about the vehicle's speed, susceptibility to breakdowns, and dependency on fuel. Undeterred by the criticism, Carl firmly believed that his horseless carriage heralded the future. In 1888, he became the world's first person to manufacture cars for sale. Despite facing skepticism, Carl found unwavering support in his wife Bertha, who actively engaged in the workshop, offering suggestions and encouragement. However, the initial car's limitations were apparent suitable only for short distances, requiring constant mechanical attention and priced beyond the means of many. The elite, too, hesitated to embrace the loud and messy contraptions. Carl recognized the need to convince the world of the automobile's enduring significance.
Benz seemed to have an obsession and spent more and more time in his workshops. And there came a fabled occasion in 1888 when his wife and her children decided that enough was enough. One day, when Benz was away, they raided the workshop, borrowed the car, and went for a drive in it. They went all the way from Mannheim to Pforzheim, apparently without incident, which, when you think of it, was a remarkable achievement. Frau Benz made her point, but so did Carl Benz, because here was a perfectly practical machine for, shall we say, unskilled people to go out and drive.
In the summer of 1888, Bertha Benz took matters into her own hands. Without informing Carl or the police, she embarked on a journey covering 66 miles to visit her mother in Pforzheim, a historic moment in automobile history. Encountering numerous challenges, including dusty and stony roads meant for horses, refueling stops at pharmacies, and impromptu mechanical repairs, Bertha showcased the potential and challenges of the invention. Her determination demonstrated the practicality of Benz's creation. The 66-mile journey, undertaken with her two sons, unfolded as an epic test of the automobile's capabilities and marked a pivotal chapter in the quest to establish the automobile as a viable and indispensable mode of transportation. After an arduous journey of over 12 hours, Bertha Benz and her two sons successfully reached Pforzheim, achieving the goal she set out for: to make people take notice of the automobile as the next big thing. The Benz motor wagon became the talk of the town, garnering significant publicity for Carl's business. This newfound attention fueled rapid expansion for Benz and Chi, making it the second largest engine manufacturer in Germany by 1890, primarily due to the sale of stationary gasoline engines rather than automobiles. Enter two new business partners, Friedrich von Fischer and Julius Gunz, who played pivotal roles in reshaping the company's fortunes. Tasked with managing business and marketing affairs, they allowed Carl Benz to concentrate on his engineering goals. During this period, Carl patented several groundbreaking car innovations, including the planetary gear transmission, double pivot steering, and the flat engine with a boxer configuration. Guided by his partner's recommendations, Carl designed and manufactured a new and improved automobile in 1893, naming it the Benz Victoria. This luxurious two-passenger vehicle boasted a 3-horsepower engine capable of reaching 11 miles per hour. Although successful, it was the follow-up model, the more affordable Benz Velo, that truly captured the market. With approximately 1,200 units produced, the Benz Velo became the world's first large-scale production car, propelling Benz and C to become the largest automobile company globally during the 1890s and early 1900s. While reveling in newfound success, the Benz company faced challenges that would shape its future.
Great minds think alike, because while Carl Benz was inventing his tricycle, a rather older engineer called Gottlieb Daimler was also having his first thoughts about mechanical transport. By the mid-1890s, both Benz and Daimler were in series production, if in those days you could call 100 or 200 vehicles a year series production.
Adding to the competitive landscape, Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft, headed by Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, emerged as a formidable rival to Benz and Key. Daimler, known for his competitive spirit and extensive business acumen, presented a significant challenge for Carl Benz, whose business knowledge appeared to be lacking in comparison. The first commercially sold Daimler car hit the market in 1892, showcasing their engineering prowess. Within 2 years, they introduced a 2-cylinder car, and in 1897, they unveiled the Daimler Phoenix, their first front-engine model. The Daimler vehicles gained traction as they appealed more to the public, raising the stakes in the competition. In 1900, the automotive industry faced a significant loss with the passing of Gottlieb Daimler.
Emil Jelinek, who was a politician, an entrepreneur, and something of a fixer, had become an enthusiast for Daimler cars in 1897 and soon joined the board of that company. He then asked for a completely new type of car in 1901. He then said, "I want you to call them after my daughter. Her name is Mercedes."
Wilhelm Maybach took the reins, and under his leadership, the Daimler Company achieved a milestone with the creation of the Mercedes 35 horsepower in 1901. This vehicle marked a turning point, embodying the modern concept of an automobile. With a powerful gas engine, a wider and larger body featuring a tailored steel chassis, and a low center of mass, the Mercedes 35 horsepower was initially designed for racing. Named after Emil Jelinek's daughter, Mercedes, the car secured multiple victories in street races and hill climb events, boasting a top speed of 56 miles per hour, unmatched by its contemporaries. This success prompted Daimler to rebrand all their vehicles under the name Mercedes, producing new models for both racing and public use. However, this shift in the industry didn't sit well with Carl Benz's partners, who sought an immediate response to counter the competition. Without Carl's approval, they enlisted French designers to develop a faster model. Carl Benz, angered by their unilateral decision, expressed his displeasure with the direction they were taking. The stage was set for a dynamic and competitive era in the automotive industry, as the companies vied for dominance. Contrary to the prevailing trend of auto racing, Carl Benz harbored a strong aversion to the concept. He preferred a cautious and unhurried approach to driving, deeply disturbed by the potential hazards and cacophony associated with high-speed racing on public roads. Unfortunately, the racing car developed by his team failed to find success, exacerbating the crises faced by the Benz company between 1903 and 1904. Frustrated and disheartened, Carl decided to distance himself from the company in 1904, opting to step down from an active role while retaining a position on its board of directors. Despite his reservations, he eventually conceded to allowing Benz cars to participate in racing events. Surprisingly, it was these ventures into racing that proved to be the saving grace for the struggling company. In 1908, Benz introduced a formidable 120 horsepower racer, a monstrous machine that thundered from Leningrad to Moscow in a mere 8.5 hours, achieving an average speed of 50 miles per hour. This feat was remarkable, given the primitive conditions of the tracks at that time. However, it was the 200 horsepower Blitz and Benz, constructed in 1909, that catapulted the brand into the limelight. This race car not only shattered existing speed records, but also set a new benchmark, reaching speeds exceeding 140 miles per hour. In 1911, a remarkable achievement, surpassing the performance of any contemporary plane, train, or automobile. The success in racing breathed new life into the Benz company, securing its place in automotive history. During this period, both Benz and Daimler cars became highly coveted, enjoying strong sales. However, this prosperity was abruptly disrupted by the outbreak of the First World War, which not only upended lives, but also impacted the global economy.
Defeated in the war, and then suffering from huge economic problems, inflation absolutely ran away. It threatened to destroy industry in Germany. Neither Benz nor Mercedes could possibly survive without help. And so, by 1924, they were ready to join together.
Following Germany's defeat in World War I, the country experienced an economic downturn, leading to significant challenges for both Daimler and Benz. In a bid to enhance their chances of survival, the two companies set aside their rivalry and signed an agreement in 1924. This pact aimed to combine their production and marketing efforts while retaining their individual brand names, a cost-saving measure during challenging economic times. However, this cooperative arrangement was short-lived, lasting only 2 years. The deteriorating German economy compelled Daimler and Benz to merge completely in 1926, giving rise to a new entity called Daimler-Benz. under the umbrella of Daimler-Benz.
Before the merger, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche joined Daimler as technical director and set about the design of a series of fabulously fast six-cylinder supercharged sports cars. These developed into the S, SS and SSK models.
The company rebranded its vehicles as Mercedes-Benz and unveiled impressive models in the late 1920s, including the Mercedes-Benz Type 630 and models SS and SSK. Notably, Ferdinand Porsche, one of the finest engineers, played a crucial role in developing these vehicles, eventually becoming a prominent name in the automotive industry. Meanwhile, Carl Benz continued to serve on the Daimler-Benz board of directors, witnessing the success of his automobiles and marveling at the remarkable advancements in the auto industry during his lifetime. Carl Benz passed away in April 1929 at the age of 84, just a few years after the merger that marked a pivotal chapter in the history of automotive giants. After Carl Benz's passing, Daimler-Benz continued to flourish, evolving into one of the world's premier performance car manufacturers. However, its most notable years coincided with an unexpected leader, Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler came to power in Nazi Germany in 1933. Almost immediately decided to show off German technology in almost every way that he could.
In 1933, when Hitler rose to power in Germany, he sought to showcase German engineering and technology to the world, aiming to assert his political influence globally. One avenue he chose for this display was through international motorsports. In 1934, Hitler provided substantial subsidies to Daimler-Benz, urging their participation in Grand Prix races. Daimler-Benz invested unprecedented time and resources, outpacing other car companies of the era, as Mercedes dominated Grand Prix races from 1934 to 1939. The W25 and W125 models reached staggering speeds of up to 200 miles per hour on the racetrack. However, they faced stiff competition from Auto Union, another German automaker sponsored by their own country, which also enjoyed significant success from 1935 to 1937. The collective triumphs of Mercedes-Benz and Auto Union propelled Germany to the forefront of the motorsports world.
War was coming up fast, and in fact, on the very day that war broke out, the German Grand Prix cars appeared for the last time.
Mercedes-Benz in particular gained immense recognition, becoming Hitler's preferred car brand. Notably, Hitler was frequently seen in the Mercedes-Benz 770, a large luxury vehicle favored by high-ranking Nazi officials. Despite these successes, the outbreak of the Second World War in 1939 posed a severe threat to the Daimler-Benz company. The demand for civilian passenger cars dwindled as the war intensified, casting a shadow over the once thriving automotive industry. During the war, Daimler-Benz shifted its focus to manufacturing military vehicles, submarines, tanks, and aircraft engines for the Nazi military. Their primary business line became military trucks, capable of transporting 3 to 6.5 tons of supplies. By 1942, the company ceased public car production entirely, redirecting all resources towards supporting the war effort. As the war escalated, the need for additional staff and armament production became apparent. With the existing workforce deployed on the front lines, Daimler-Benz began recruiting women to maintain production levels. However, this proved insufficient, leading the company to resort to using forced labor. Prisoners of war, abducted civilians, and detainees from concentration camps were subjected to long hours of work under immense pressure. The majority of these laborers, mostly from Eastern Europe, endured harsh conditions in barrack camps resembling prisons, while concentration camp detainees faced monitoring by the SS and inhumane living conditions. Many lost their lives due to severe malnutrition, mistreatment, or torture. By 1944, almost half of Daimler-Benz's 63,000 employees were forced laborers. The end of the war in 1945 dealt a significant blow to the company. According to the Potsdam Agreement, all German assets abroad were confiscated for reparations. Daimler-Benz lost all foreign subsidiaries, reverting to its home country plants. This forced the company to rebuild from scratch. Despite severe bomb damage to its factories, Mercedes-Benz had the advantage of owning its own plant, distinguishing it from competitors like BMW or Adler, whose facilities ended up in Soviet territory. In 1946, the company obtained a production permit from the American occupation authorities. In the post-war period, Mercedes-Benz shifted its focus to the production of ambulances, police patrol vehicles, and delivery vans based on their 170V models. In 1947, the company resumed passenger vehicle production, producing only 1,045 of their 170V models that year. Despite challenging conditions, Daimler-Benz managed to turn a profit within just 1 year. By the 1950s, Mercedes-Benz made a strong comeback in motorsports events and achieved successful sales worldwide. In 1954 alone, the company had already amassed over $1 billion in profit. Over the years, Mercedes-Benz has undergone a complete image shift, emerging as one of the most valuable car brands globally. This success would not have been possible without the vision and determination of Carl Benz, who, despite humble beginnings, challenges, and critics, had the courage to turn his dream into a reality. The legacy of Mercedes-Benz stands as a testament to the pioneering spirit and resilience initiated by Carl Benz. To truly grasp history, we dive into the lives of those who made it. Now, we want to hear from you. What fascinating stories or topics would you like us to unfold next?